When I got out of the military, I had a hard time translating my military experience into the civilian world. I'll be honest with you, if it wasn't for my wife, I probably would have been that homeless or impoverished vet. But it can be easier with the right support. I'm Mark Casper, and I'm the Executive Director of Tech4Troops. In today's world, you have to have a computer to be able to apply for jobs. Our mission is to empower veterans in need with computers and training to get back in the workforce.
Here at Tech4Troops, we're here to push you forward to get you back to where you want to be in life. When the veterans come in, I teach them everything you could think of that's done with a computer. I want them to feel that this is a tool that's going to help them get their life back.
I went into a kind of a deep depression. Eventually, I lost my job and I was out on the street. The computer was able to connect me to the web, and I was able to start putting resumes out. And you have to have these small building blocks to get from point A to point B. I'm not worried about employment anymore.
The need is great, and we want to be able to support our veterans across the nation.
All right, welcome everyone to the IWM Broadcast Network as we bring to you the Tech4Troops Cup Series here on Wednesday night. This is the first race of their playoffs, and we are at the iconic Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Rick Souza here in the booth with my co-broadcaster, John DeRudris. And John, this should be a fun race.
Oh, it's going to be a blast. Indianapolis is one of my favorite tracks. I'm glad they brought it back to the oval, and we are seeing a lot of action right now here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series. It's round one of the playoffs. So we have our playoff field set and ready to rock and roll. And starting off at, one of the most historic venues that the NASCAR Cup Series went to and currently does go to. So great way to start it off. I'm excited to see the talent out here tonight. And at the top of the board, Aiden Lucas in the number 10 machine topping out against everybody else.
Yeah, and if you're watching this for the first time, you'll now see that the crawl across the top and the tower to the left is it's red and blue. Well, that blue tells you that driver is a playoff driver. And as John said, Aiden Lucas right now is on top of the leaderboard. Aiden put up a lap time that was 53.16, which is a pretty smoking lap here at Indianapolis. Now the drivers are about to go to qualifying, but in the meantime, let's cover the race info for tonight's event.
Absolutely. So looking at tonight's race information, lovely mid-80 degree day here in Indianapolis. Track temp, though, is pretty hot, so 120 plus degrees.
It's hot.
It's going to be a little slick out there as we just see practice ending and qualifying going to take way just in a few moments now. 75 laps is tonight's race length with pit road speeds at 55 mile an hour. No quick repairs, which means if you're new here, quick repair is you essentially get a redo. If you get involved in a wreck and you have too much damage or you want to fix your damage, you could just turn on your quick repair button. Basically, you get a brand new car, but with no quick repairs, you are stuck with the car you get at the start of the race. You have 3 sets of tires, 60% fuel, 3 green-white checkers here, and track temp already dropped to 13 degrees, and I think that's just because of the change from sessions. We had some timing things going on before the race, but now we have a track temp of 113 here at Indianapolis.
So right now we do show that they have 3 sets of tires for tonight. We're just double checking with race control. That is correct. They get 3 tire changes. So that is for tonight's event.
Perfect. So 3 tire changes here with 60% fuel. You're looking at probably pit stops anywhere around 21 to 22 laps, maybe 20 to 22, just to put that range a little bit bigger there, which means they're going to have to pit at least 3 different times. So we'll see how this goes out. You're looking at James Lowe out of Charlotte in the number 07 Chevrolet, one of the strongest contenders here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series, and has been doing a great job all season long. Performing well, and I expect him to be up here at the front. He was second on the boards in practice, so we'll see what his qual time looks like.
Yeah, I did get word that Christopher Howell, one of our playoff drivers, will not make the race tonight.
Wow, he won last week in Talladega too, so he's that's tough. That is very tough for him. I mean, he hasn't had the same results as we've seen in years past just because of the leveling of the field, but I think that sets him back quite a bit. So hopefully he's able to come out next week and potentially battle for that chance to get locked in the next round. So unfortunate there. But Rick, really quick, go ahead, bring up the current playoff graphic and talk a little bit about where we are in the playoffs as we have qualifying underway.
All right, so right now you can see that these are the 16 drivers who have made the playoffs. And as you can see right now, there's a cut line here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series. After the first 3 races in the playoffs, it's cut from 16 to 10. So 2 less spots than you typically see, but that's how it goes here. So you see that red line there, that's right at Luke Bullard and Mike Slogter. So that's the cut line. And pretty much we're all starting from fresh here with these 16 drivers. And if you've tuned into this broadcast over the season and previous seasons, you should be familiar with all of those names.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Farrell up there at the top, pretty commanding lead. Lilith Peters, season 4 champion. Nathan Harper, a teammate, all looking there. And I'm curious to see how Christoph Hall and Aiden Lucas and Justin Horton and those drivers are going to do, especially a driver that's been very consistent this year, Mike Sladker, who's looking at P11 right now. A good finish for anybody between 7th on the 16th. I mean, they're all separated by 4 points. So you have a lot on the line for all of those playoff drivers and to make it into the round of 10 here in 2 weeks. So really quick, let's look at the top of the boards, though, in qualifying. And Lilith Peters at the top of the board by a couple tenths of a second, about 1.3 right now over Aiden Lucas, Chris Farrell, Andrew Pileshi, and James Lowe, your current top 5 there. And how important of a win is this for these drivers here? You know, knowing that you're going to lock yourself into the round of 10, do you focus more on this race versus others, or do you say, I'm going to take it, try to get the best finish I can, and then move on to the next round?
Well, here's the thing. The next race is the Chicago Street Race. So you're either going to get it done here or you're going to get it done on a road course in Chicago. There are a number of drivers who are excellent in the league on a road course, but not everybody has those chops. Now, after that, we go to
Or do
Kansas.
We go to?
We go to
Kansas. I knew it was a mile and a half. Yeah.
Right. So that will be those are the 3 races in round 1: Chicago Street Race or Kansas. So if you don't get it done here, you're gonna have to get it done in Kansas. That's putting all your eggs in that last race basket.
Exactly. And it looks like we do have a couple schedule changes, just letting everybody know. So Obviously, we're here in Indianapolis, and we go to Chicago for the street race on the 13th. You have Kansas Speedway, the last race of the round of 16 on the 20th. Then on the 27th, we are actually going to be running Auto Club. A lot of people love Auto Club, so we're going to bring that one back. We're going to go to Michigan on the 27th, and instead of Martinsville, we're going to Auto Club. There on the 4th of December. And then instead of Iowa on the 11th, we are going to run Old Atlanta. So a lot of different tracks here on board. You got kind of, mile and a half city there in the round 2 with Phoenix ending out the championship round. So, Rick, it looks like we're ready to grid up, and let's see who got the pole here. I think, if my numbers are correct, the 01.
Let's bring it up. All right, there's your grid.
There we go. So starting on pole for tonight's Tech4Troops Cup Series event. Round 1, the round of 16, race number 1, Lilith Peters on pole, Aiden Lucas to the outside with Chris Rell starting in 3rd, Andrew Pileshi starting in 4th, Justin Lewis starting in 5th, James Lowe starting in 6th, Chuck Van Scoik starting in 7th, Nathan Harper starting in 8th, Maxwell Caldwell starting in P9, and rounding out your top 10, Garrett Johnston.
In P11, you've got Wyatt Gray. In 12th, Ty Bostic. In 13th, Sammy Harrell. 14th is Stephen Gibson Jr. Dalton Shy is in 15th, and John Ledger is in 16th. In 17th, Scotty Grove. And 18th, Jeremy Flanagan. In 19th, Mike Slogter. And in 20th, William Corinne II.
In 21st, you have Luke Bullard with Todd Merkel there starting in 22nd, Philip Vandertwick starting in 23rd, with Ryan D. Cook starting in the 24th position. In 25th, Chad Jones with Christoph Hall starting in 26th, Austin Call starting in 27th, Dustin Coggin starting in P28. Rounding out 29th and 30th is Cody Sturgill and Zach Allen, with Pete Woodrum, Marco Berube, and Justin Horton rounding out the field, with Justin Horton not running a lap, and I don't see him on the grid. I don't know if he's going to be starting this race, but I don't see him yet.
Yeah, we're still waiting on the 18 to grid up. We'll see if he makes it. He's got a little bit of time, but I think that time's about to end. But he could start in the pits if that is his choice.
Could start in the pits. Don't know if I'd recommend it because of how this race plays out. And, actually, let's just talk about it really quick. Starting in the pits is probably not the best idea. So that's where track position comes in. So let's talk about really quick my 3 keys for tonight's event before we dive in. So we're at Indianapolis. So this track, historic for getting strung out. And with that means you have to be able to start up near the front. So track position is probably going to be my number 1 key for everybody tonight. So I'm looking for the winner to come out of the top 10, unless we have something going on to where we have a field that is flipped for some reason. Not really sure what could happen, obviously, but I would definitely say number 1 is going to be track position. Number 2, I'm going to say pit strategy. The reason why pit strategy is so important here is because you're going to be able to come on and get out of pit road cleanly. It can scrub seconds off, so you have to have that practice. You have to know what your limits are, and you have to know when you can get on and get out of pit road smoothly. And third, tire wear, tire conservation. I think it's going to be important here specifically. So I'm going to put that as my 3rd key for tonight's race. And it's not as big of an issue as I would think track position, Rick. I think to win this race, you have to have that track position because we often see it get strung out.
Absolutely. And this is a tough track to drive if you're unfamiliar with this track. These are relatively flat corners, and it's super easy carrying a lot of speed into turn 1 to make a mistake.
Oh, yeah, you can easily just drift up and just slide right through. So it's going to be interesting to see how these Tech4Troops Cup Series drivers handle that changing condition here as we are about to get the green flag underway here at Indianapolis. Round of 16, race number 1, green flag in the air. Let's go racing from Indy.
Big move already. We're wrecking, though.
Oh, 10's around, getting involved with the 22, 43's involved. we got a big stack up, and the whole field is blocked. We have a parking lot on the front stretch, Rick. You got the 18, you got the 70, the 10, the 50, or the 35, the 75, the 2, all in a parking lot. Oh, boy.
I don't think a lot of damage happened, I think, but at 10, he may have more damage. Go back and take a peek, but I'm pretty sure he just got maybe spun.
Yeah, something happened for sure.
So that's the 91 of Paleshi that's behind him. Oh, he didn't go. He didn't go, and unfortunately, the line that stacked up behind him did go, spins him around.
And then it's the rest is history. I mean, you just have nowhere to go. And with as narrow of a front stretch as this is, you got the 94 right there. And once you start stacking everybody up here, Rick,
22,
it's a whole mess.
22 slanted into 43. These are playoff drivers. Oh, really? Just a mess.
Yeah, literally a parking lot. You're going to see everybody come to a stop. And that's the only thing you can do here. I mean, you're all literally stuck until somebody else moves. So, unfortunate way to start the race for some of these playoff drivers. Looking at, Zach Allen, looking at Aiden Lucas, all those drivers that got involved in this one. Not the way you want to start, unfortunately.
Nope, it sure isn't. That's unfortunate here. We'll get you an update. We do see a number of drivers who are now on pit road. See Chad Jones, Todd Merkel, Ryan D. Cook, William Corinne II, all on pit road. Trying to get whatever damage they have on their cars. Now the rest of the field is coming down. Bostic, Maxwell, Harrell, Ledger, and Sturgill. I guess you're coming in to really get an assessment of how badly you're damaged.
Yeah, you definitely are here at this point in the race. And a lot of drivers, I think, got some secondary and just some friendly fire contact from that and weren't really hurt too bad, but they still need to come down and take a peek and see what happened. I mean, I'm looking at a bunch of torn up race cars down on pit road right now, which is tough to see. So we'll see. We'll see how this shapes out. But Rick, we got a wreck on the first.
We really didn't even get the first lap in. Obviously, it's just at the start-finish line.
Yeah, right at the start-finish line.
As that flag flew. Yeah, terrible. Not the way we want to get this race underway, but we've seen this happen before with drivers who haven't spent a lot of time at the top of the leaderboard, at the front. Restarts are tough.
They're tough, and if you spin the tires or if you miss a gear, I mean, it is you have nowhere to go. It's very tough to get back up and going here. So unfortunate, but just lap one. We have a lot of racing to go, and we'll see what happens as this race moves on. But right now, to the point, the 01, Lilith Peters trying to, I think, be the first back-to-back champion. Have we had a repeat before? I don't think we have.
I don't think so. So we'll see what happens with race control and see whether they make a decision and whether anybody would be sent to the back on that one, or it's just going to be a redo and we get this back underway. The challenge here at Indianapolis is this track is 2.5 miles long, and at pace speed of 65, it's a long way around this track. These pace laps take forever.
They take all day, all night. So,
So if you do have damage, you can come in and get a lot repaired.
For sure, absolutely. And so that's the beauty of it. As we just got the 1-to-go sign, so we'll see how this is going to affect everybody. But yeah, like you said it. I mean, it's a blessing and a curse. It's almost like a pace lap at Talladega. It takes forever around Indianapolis. But we'll get racing underway very soon. And Rick, let me ask you this: if you were in this race right now, and you had you were one of these drivers who just got involved in an incident, what would be going through your mind? What would you be telling yourself right now, knowing that you just got involved in an incident in lap 1?
Well, the first one would obviously be, stay calm, relax. It's a 75 lap event. There's lots of time. You can get it back. Not that big a deal. However, at the same time, you really hate the fact that you've got damage on your car. You don't have a quick repair. You've got to be able to get back out there and get underway. This track, if you lose a bit of the draft or you lose who you're racing with, you'll be lapped quicker than you realize.
Right. I agree. I agree.
All right, field is forming back up. We're entering and coming through turn 4, so we are about to go back to green flag racing.
Excited to see how this restart's going to be this time between the 01 and the 06. Pace cars down, and they're about to enter the Geico restart zone right there on the leader, and we are back in green flag racing again. Take number 2 from Indianapolis.
Good restart. The 06 drops down and takes that low line, drops right behind the 01.
Everybody minding their P's and Q's as we make our way into turn 2. All 4 corners here are symmetrical. They're exactly the same. I do think turn 4 is a little bit different, but it's a matter of opinion. We got some contact in the back. I don't really know what happened. It looks like drivers are all good. But here we go down this long straightaway. Diving down into turn 3 right now, going about 189 miles an hour.
Oh, car
up into the wall.
And that's really, I am not surprised that we'll see that, because if as a driver, if you haven't put in the practice laps on this track, you need to know your corner entry marks and your apex points and how you exit, because if you do not make those, you have brought so much speed into that corner. One little mistake and you will sail right into the safer barrier.
Absolutely. And that's actually why I love this track so much. If you can keep the wheels smooth and your throttle control is really strong, it's a track that'll really suit you. I ran the the Brickyard 400 back in the spring and was up near the top 3 to top 5 all day. And what I noticed is a lot of drivers tend to stab the throttle in the middle of the corner. And what that does is that's going to cause the car to over-rotate. And you will definitely scrub speed. I mean, you might not on the short run, but you're going to sacrifice those tires and just slowly getting back into the gas, trail braking a little bit, and trailing back into the throttle is how you get it done here without overdriving the car. And it's so easy to do here. That's what I think is the biggest challenge, is not overdriving the car at Indianapolis.
Yeah, you'll see often here, similar to what you would see at an IndyCar event on this track, obviously the Indianapolis 500, is that as the lead car, you don't want that car behind you to pick up your draft, because they could easily utilize that to outposition you. Once you pass somebody in this track, it's super hard to pass them back.
It really is, and you have to almost set it up a couple corners before. And that's, I think, the biggest challenge here is managing the patience. So if your goal is to try to pass somebody going into turn 3, you got to set that up coming out of turn 4 on the previous lap. You got to carry momentum, and that's where this track is so important. Carrying that draft and being able to get right behind the car and do what Lilith Peters is doing right now. She is actually moving down the track, similarly what you see in IndyCar and even in the Cup Series, trying to break the draft so people behind that 01 can't get it. And so she's trying to make sure that 06, who's a very, very aggressive and calculated driver, stays behind. And Chris Worrell, looking to have a better championship run than he had last season. Obviously didn't come out on top, was a little bit short there, but he's looking for revenge in the 06.
29 cars are on the lead lap. A few drivers who are lap down. You got William Corrin Jr., Ryan D. Cook, Chad Jones, Todd Merkel. They were all involved in that initial incident. But here we are, 9 laps in already, and good racing. Looking back in the field, just jumping back. So you've got the top 10 or 15 that are really solid. They're running nose to tail. And then you've got this back here, 3 wide through the corners. These guys, I think some of them are doing well. Others are struggling to get around here. And you've really got to utilize your driving skills and to be repetitive.
You do, and that's where the rhythm comes in, the throttle control. I mean, it's a very, very, very difficult track to master and to get around. So when you do get around drivers, you got to make the most of it, and you can't wait around. So that's what you're trying to see. You're a lot of drivers jockeying for position, trying to make maybe some moves that are a little bit more aggressive than what they would typically make. But right now, Rick, it looks like Lilith has pulled out to a 1.2 second gap. I don't know if Chris had a bobble, but that gap has grown pretty significantly over the last 2 laps.
Yep, she has just run her race, and she's out in front. She's got a good gap between herself and the 06. And really at this point, it's mileage. So when do you expect that we'll see these drivers coming in?
I expect anywhere between, well, since we had that caution, I would say lap 20 to 22 is what I would estimate. I might even add in like 19 to 22, depending on how aggressive some of these drivers are in the throttle. So I would say right there is what you're going to go with our fuel numbers and what my calculations are. So see if that's accurate.
See Nathan Harper moving up and around the 50 of Justin Lewis. Now taking over sole possession of third.
And we want to say we appreciate everybody for tuning in to the Tech4Troops Cup Series playoffs, our first race. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and like the broadcast and our channel so you don't miss an ounce of other broadcasts we have going on, so you don't miss an ounce of the Tech4Troops Cup Series playoffs, as well as everything going on here on Thursday nights as well with the INRS series. With that, tomorrow's it, Rick. Tomorrow's the championship race.
You're right. That will end our Thursday nights until we start the next season. So if you're a regular viewer on Thursday nights, tomorrow night is the INRS Championship. We expect to have those drivers in a little bit early. We'll probably go on the air shortly after 8:30 Eastern time. Try to get some drivers in for interviews, and we'll cover the standings and who is there. But that's it for our Thursdays.
Yep, that is it. It's been awesome covering their league, Rick. I mean, they've been awesome, and so excited to see what comes out of next season.
So we just got word from race control that what caused that initial incident was a misshift.
The misshift. the mischief of the missed shift. It's definitely tough, specifically here when you're all stacked up and some drivers, getting super technical here, some drivers might be doing the auto blip, which means that they are not having to actually use the clutch. Some drivers may have automatic turned on where there's automatic transmission. Some cars and drivers may choose to run it as authentic as possible where you have to clutch in every time, or you have to clutch in at the restart, whatever it may be. Obviously you have the sequential gearbox on these new next gen cars, Gen 7 cars, but either way, that may cause some issues. So maybe a shift just didn't go through with the 10, and that's what happened. So it makes a lot of sense.
Why don't we go on board with Chris Worrell and just see exactly how he's getting around this track.
Let's do it.
So not shifting.
No, not shifting at all, and very smooth with the wheel. And that's one of the big keys here, is being really smooth with your inputs. Yeah, see, he's having to correct it.
Yeah, he's diving down pretty low, and we'll take off that banner. So he's definitely having to counter steer as he exits. So he's got a lot of throttle in, and he's really, he's really pushing.
Yeah, he definitely is. I think he's doing a great job so far, though. I think it's shows you exactly what you need to do here at Indianapolis.
All right, again, we thank you for tuning in to the Tech4Troops Cup Series, sponsored by Tech4Troops and Goat Racing Diecast. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're not going to miss anything. We'll be side by side. We will be right back.
Hello, my name is Jack Raymondson. I manage business development here at Tech4Troops, and I'm my second year with this amazing veteran nonprofit owned and operated by veterans for veterans. I served in the U.S. Marine Corps as an amphibious assault crewman from 1992 to 1996. I also served in the U.S. Coast Guard from 2002 to 2007, joining after 9/11 as an operations specialist, then serving as an instructor at Coast Guard Training Center, Yorktown. I also spent many years as a first responder volunteering as an EMT and fireman. I'm here at Tech4Troops because I believe in our mission to empower veterans and their families with the gift of computers and technology training, as well as our outreach to help curb veteran suicide while providing a safe and meaningful community where veterans are treated with respect and dignity. We are aiming for zero veteran suicide through gaming and other program opportunities. We help veterans regain a new sense of purpose and help them see they have a brighter future ahead of them. It truly is an honor and my pleasure to serve my fellow veterans and help give them a leg up. 2024 is Tech4Troops' 10th anniversary year, and I ask that you help us support our veterans and their families with a computer donation and or greatly needed financial contribution so we can help every last veteran in need. Together, you and Tech4Troops can be change makers. Thank you.
All right, we thank you all. If you're tuned in online live, we appreciate you being here. If you're going to watch this on replay, we appreciate you liking and subscribing to our channel so we can keep you up to date. Again, tomorrow night is our championship event for the INRS Racing Series. We'll get that tomorrow night with some early driver interviews at the beginning, and then obviously we'll bring to you their event at Phoenix. And then we're going to be off for a bit on Thursday nights until the NASCAR Cup Series picks back up. And if it all goes well, we'll be up at Bowman Gray for the start of next year's 2025 season. Oh, we're seeing already drivers at Lilith on pit road.
Yep, lap 18, coming to 19. I knew it was going to be around that time frame, so looks a little bit on the early side. I'm really curious to see how these pit cycles are going to roll through. I mean, every driver knows they have to pit multiple times, so. All right, in and out. for the 0-1 there.
All right, that will set her back pretty far. Does she go a lap down? No, but she winds up at the tail end of the field.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Is getting to the back end of this field is never fun because it's a lot can happen depending on the delta between when other drivers come down pit road and when she comes down pit road, and the gains there. It's going to be interesting. Now she has shown her card, so everybody else has to basically follow her in, not lose some time. But right now, the leader, Chris Farrell, last lap was exactly 1 second off his fastest lap. When Lilith hits the line this next time by, not this time, but this next time, we'll give you an accurate representation of how much quicker she is off of some green tires there. So we'll see what happens.
So based on her pit stop, her time she entered into, committed to the pit road entrance, had the car serviced, and turned it back around, that takes about 51 seconds overall.
Wow.
Stop in the box was only about 15 seconds, so not a big
Right.
deal, but it takes nearly, now these cars are going around here, lap times are just around 55 seconds, so do the math, she came out and she was just 5 seconds ahead at the tail end of the lead lap from the leader. Sammy Harrell is on pit road in the 43, getting his pit service done. Sammy is a playoff driver. And you can see he's got to get off pit road, which he does.
Yeah, I mean, I think getting on and getting out of pit road is one of the toughest things to do here. It's a very long pit road, and you can really almost get yourself bogged down if you don't really realize how close you are, if you realize you're too far away, because, again, like I said in the pre-race, you have to practice your entry and your exit here, maybe a little bit more than other tracks.
Actually, he wound up going a lap down. He did not get out before Chris Worrell made his way around.
Wow. That's big. That's big right there.
So you can see why Lilith was able to do it. She was at the front. So she
Exactly.
had a few seconds ahead. But I think on average, most drivers are going to wind up going a lap down.
At this rate, I would agree with you.
Yeah. Cody Sturgill is on pit road.
Alrighty.
So yeah, so as we're seeing now, we're up to lap 23. So I'm guessing pretty much about this time we should expect to see everybody, depending on your overall pit strategy, because obviously there's 75 laps.
I would see. I mean, I think you might see the 06 come by this time. Would be my bet. And they might have gotten a little bit of help. No, still didn't come down pit road. Maybe they can go a little bit longer than I thought. Maybe it's closer to 20, 24, 25.
Well, he's got his teammate right behind him. That's James Lowe. Speaking of Team Rocket Racing, let's just quickly bring up our team championship data. So right now, Team Rocket Racing is out there. They're leading, but right behind them, within striking distance, only 55 points back, is Southern E Motorsports. Got Kaiju Cat there behind them. Goat 1. Got the HUJ team, Goat 2, Has-Beens, and Unite all there. Those are the top 8 teams here. And we run, the drivers have their individual championships, and then there's also a team championship for bucks.
There is. Just got word, 85 was speeding. Dalton Sly there. Unfortunate for that 85 machine, but he got caught for speeding on pit road.
He's right now in the pitch with Jeremy Flanagan and Marco Berube getting their shirts done. And here comes your leader, Chris Worrell, along with a number of other drivers.
Yep. So 24 on the 25. We've seen some drivers locking up their tires. That's what I was talking about. It's going to be tight. The call here is going to be 4 tires and fuel.
Job with the 06 getting cleanly out of the pits. That was a pit stop time in the box of 14.57 seconds. That's one of the better times so far in our first round of pit stops. Now the key is, where did he come out?
That's the question. Where is he going to come out? I think that's going to be the question of the day for everybody, is how fast can you get onto pit road and how fast can you get out of pit road?
On pit
And
road
that's
now,
gonna-
Justin Lewis, Bostic, Scotty Grove, Aiden Lucas, Christoph Hall, Justin Horton. Now, a number of drivers have not made their way onto pit road. Garrett Johnson,
Wyatt
Maxwell
Gray.
Caldwell, Wyatt Gray. He is the only driver who has not stopped. Looking on down, you can see what the Wyatt Gray car is, number 71 right there behind the 43 of Sammy Harrell. I am just shocked that he hasn't pitted. This is lap 27 of 75. Now he's just saving fuel, trying to get every little bit out, but he will be one of
That's
the
my
last
guess.
cars to pit. I was really expecting him to come down onto pit road that time. Here he comes.
That's pretty interesting. So
Oh.
going on 28 to 29. Oh no, we got a car stopped. Well, you better stay there. Oh, had to make an evasive maneuver. That was treacherous. Looks like we got another penalty coming through. The 1 car, Pete Woodrum, speeding on pit road. And as this plays out, Rick, Lilith Peters back to the point. And if you look at the point gap really quick, Rick, it looks very interesting. So Lilith had a slower stop by about half a second, but she was out 6 laps, or she was in 6 laps earlier than Chris Worrell. How big was the gap when Chris went into pit road? 1.5 seconds, just about. And the gap right now is about 7.13. So doing the math there, about a second a lap is what Lilith was able to gain on Chris. Now we'll see if Chris is able to make up that gap as this run goes on. You'll about to see him out of the top of the screen right there out of the turn 4, but that is where we are at this point in the race.
Their last lap times were not that far off. I guess Lilith put a 54.49. Worrell was at a 54.37.
Wow.
So just a tenth off. That's not. It is a lot, but it's not huge. So
Correct. It's not massive.
all right, lap 29 is in the books here of 75. We're approaching the halfway point. Lilith Peters out in front. Chris Worrell is sitting in second. James Lowe not far behind with Team Rocket Racing in third. Andrew Baleshi, you can see, sitting in fourth. And right behind, not far, is Justin Lewis in fifth. So as you can tell by the track map in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, after a green flag stop, we are spread out over this 2.5-mile track.
Yeah, it's all over the place. It's what you would expect. It's what you would expect. And that's why I said track position is so vital to this race and to the championship battle in this aspect. I mean, looking at the biggest mover of the race has been tied between Mike Slatker and actually it's Justin Horton up 13 spots. But if you look at Lilith and the top 10, 0 spots gained for Lilith, 1 spot gained for Chris, 3 spots gained for James Lowe, 0 spots gained for Andrew Kaleshi, 0 spots gained for Justin Lewis, +1, +1 for Charles Van Scoik and Nathan Harper, and then +2 for Garrett Johnston. So top 8, pretty much right where they started the race. Biggest losers were 10 car -22, Aiden Lucas, all the way down for sure. So track position is key.
So just thinking through this pit strategy, so you pitted, let's just take Chris Worrell for instance. He pitted on lap 24, assuming he can go 24, 25 laps again, because we saw already that Maxwell Caldwell put on 27, Wyatt Gray 27 laps. If he can go 25, then he'll be at 50. It's quite possible they could do this with just this next stop.
Yeah, I mean a 2 stop instead of a 3. That's the big question here, and you have quite a few drivers on that strategy. Look at Garrett Johnston. Look at that is Maxwell Caldwell, Wyatt Gray. You have a lot of drivers that could possibly do this. Austin Call.
Well, the unfortunate part is that Lilith Peters is not on that strategy. She pitted on lap 18, which means even if she goes 24 laps, that's going to put her at lap 38, 39, 42. And she will wind up pitting on lap 42 and potentially being super short. She'll need to come down one more time. Yeah,
it's not looking great unless the only thing I can think of is if she tries to go. I don't even know how you can make that math work. You'd have to go 28 plus laps. I mean, you're looking at, if you do reverse this, you put on lap 18. That'd be, you have 57 laps to go at that point, and then half of 57. You're looking at close to almost 28 laps, 28 and a half laps right there. So that's tough. That is tough. Now we saw Garrett Johnston and saw Maxwell Caldwell do that. So maybe she wanted to do that to gain track position. But Rick, the math is not in that 01 car's favor at the moment.
Wait, what are you seeing here? Tell me, what do you see? She's shifting.
Yep.
So by shifting, which will increase the RPMs of the engine, you may be faster, but you're going to eat a lot of fuel.
Yeah, definitely. And you may have some drivers that will coast, and I actually love coasting here. It's very easy to do because it's not a lot of steering input. But yeah, she's definitely downshifting there, letting the car roll back in the throttle mid-corner. Absolutely, Rick. Let's go on board with Garrett Johnston, see what he's doing back in P8 right now. There it is. There it is, right there. The proof is in the pudding.
So it comes down to a fuel mileage race. What you cannot do is shift, especially if you're out there all by yourself, running around. Downshifting is going to chew through your fuel. That's probably why she had to come in at lap 18.
Absolutely. And if you look at where Garrett is right now, he's getting a draft from the 2 cars in front of him. So he's saving more fuel.
Garrett's currently in 8th position.
Who happens to be drafting off of a Cat Motorsports teammate. So, got a move actually right now. Look at that. Justin Lewis going to the inside there, I believe. But as it
Nathan
stands,
Harper up front in that pack.
Yep.
Got the 50 right there of Justin Lewis, and then Garrett Johnston trying to get himself around the 50.
There they go.
All right, that gap is closing up relatively quickly here on the 01 between Chris Burrell and Lilith Peters. What we saw originally at the time of his pit stop was over 7 seconds. That has now been cut in half.
It has. And we'll see. I mean, this gap is going to continually go down. And, I think the math is not in Lilith's favor at all. It is not in the favor of that 01 car.
Yeah,
so
last lap timing, bring that up and you can see what we're talking about. So last lap timing, her time by was a 55.35, 3:56. Burrell's was an 8:63, a 54.863, so nearly 4 tenths.
Wow.
Greater than 4 tenths. So he is working hard, catching up to the 01 of Lilith Peters. We expect to see her on pit road at lap 42, so about 5 laps away based on how she is running this race.
If the math is going to math, I agree. I think if you follow the trends, but I think she may try to go long as she can right here. I mean, it looks like if you can go 27, 18 plus 27, you're sitting right at 45. So another 7 laps max. So, and she's still 30 laps short. Well, let me rephrase: 3 to 5 laps short there. So it's going to be a battle for the 01. But we appreciate everybody for tuning in to tonight's Tech4Troops Cup Series race, and make sure if you know anybody who else is into sim racing or wants to catch some good action on track, share it with them and tell them to subscribe so they don't miss an ounce of what we got going on here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back, and you won't miss a thing. We'll just run these side by side.
Hi, America. I'm Mark Castro, President of Tech4Troops. I wanted to take a moment to say thank you for making 2023 such an amazing year. We completed our mission, and it feels good to have another successful year behind us. But I want to tell you, this year, 2024, is our 10th anniversary. 10 years of doing this mission, and you have been so supportive of us. So I want to take a moment to say, please continue to support us. We're going to have an event or more every month. Please stay tuned in our calendar. Please stay tuned on our social media. Join us in the celebration of our mission and what we do. And we look forward to seeing you and having your support for our mission of ending veteran homelessness through bridging the technology divide. Look forward to seeing you. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks for tuning in to the Tech4Troops Cup Series. We're at lap 40 here, just past the halfway point. Lilith Peters is out there, but she has got the 06 of Chris Burrell beginning to show up in her rearview mirror. He's got his teammate James Lowe behind him. They're running in tandem, and and here she comes down pit road as we thought.
All right, let's see what happens. I mean, well short. So no, we know that pit road, she'll have to make her way down one more time.
Yeah, I really just think this is just a product of her shifting. She was faster, but I think it's kind of caught up to her.
Let's see how fast her pit stop can be this time. All right, 14.8.
A little bit better than her last time out. James Lowe is on pit road.
Interesting move.
Really thought that these guys would have to. Those folks who were stretching it to lap 24. I don't know when James's previous pit stop was. We'll keep our eye on the 06 of Chris Farrell. I thought that he would try and stretch it, so that would be really he's got to cross really lap 50.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he can't. Maybe they're under the understanding that you've got 33 laps. You can't pull it off.
Maybe, but I thought some of these drivers could. So we'll see what happens.
I think he's doing the best he can right now. If he gets behind the car of Flanagan there, gets a little bit of a draft off of it, he should be in good shape.
Yep.
So a couple of retirees. We know the 2 of Todd Merkel has retired. He was involved in that initial incident. Also the 85 of Dalton Scheid. He was also involved. Those both have retired. Ryan D. Cook in the 46 is still on pit road trying to get some repairs made. He has got some extensive damage. Philip Vandertwick, also a playoff driver, is now on pit road. Let's go inside with Chris Farrell, see if he's trying to save any fuel, or he's definitely using every car to his advantage.
And you have to.
Oh. Now he's shifting. He's in gear 4.
Interesting. You have Chuck Van Scoyk on pit road. Lap 44.
Let's see if he stays shifting or just use it to get around that. No, he's definitely shifting. Really loose. So the good news is that he's out there turning super fast laps, 55.38 that time by. You see that news, we'll get that updated here. 55.52, decent lap. However, he is shifting, which means that tells me that they've realized they can't make it and they're going to need, they accept the fact they're going to need 2 more stops.
Yep, I agree. Now, I think you're going to have drivers that are going to try to make it on one more. Who's going to be gutsy enough to do it, though? That's the question.
Well, I think Garrett Johnson is kind of setting himself up to be successful because he pitted last on lap 27. He's running 4th. If he can stretch this out to anything past 50, which he can, then he knows he can make it.
Exactly. Entirely correct.
Wow, he is right tucked in behind the 4 of Nathan Harper. couple drivers on pit road, John Ledger and Cody Sturgill, both on pit road here at lap 46. Well, just 30 laps left to go here, less than that, 29 laps to go here at Indianapolis in the Tech4Troops Cup Series playoff first round, first race. Again, if you're interested in who's in the playoffs, look on the tower. Anybody in blue will list those 16 drivers who are currently in the playoff chase here in the Cup Series.
Right now, Mike Slatker up there. I know we're on a pit cycle, but either way, have some drivers on pit road. Chris Farrell, Nathan Harper, Luke Bullard.
Looking at our expanded tower, you can see a couple of drivers who are playoff drivers. Cody Sturgill and Sammy Harrell are both one lap down.
Yeah, their last time on pit road wasn't great. A minute 30, a minute 12.
All right, your current leader, Andrew Baleshi, is now on pit road.
Yep,
And
Mike Slatker coming out.
Slatker, Stephen Gibson also. Keep our eye on these drivers.
As it's all cycling out, Garrett Johnston, Maxwell Caldwell, the two drivers who pit the latest. So this strategy so far is playing into their favor. They just have to wait a couple more laps. I think they'll be smooth sailing. Looks like the 24 has retired from the event.
The 10 of Aiden Lucas is on pit road.
And Rick, I don't know about you, but I love the strategy from the 15 and the 94 right now.
Oh, absolutely. I think that if they can continue to play this out. 94 is Max Caldwell, 15 Garrett Johnson. These are both non-playoff drivers who have figured something out here in Indianapolis on how to set this up, and they got a chance to steal a win.
They absolutely do.
Yeah, if he can stretch this out even farther. I mean, he pitted last on lap 27, as well did Maxwell Caldwell, and for that matter, Wyatt Gray.
I mean, they could go to 54. So, we'll see.
Yeah, if you can make it to 54, then a good opportunity there.
Absolutely.
Do show that the 99 of Marco Berube had a speeding penalty. Hate that for him. Ty Bostic in the pits.
A place like Indianapolis is not a place that you want to have a speeding penalty, because you have to come down one of the longest pit roads and one of the slowest pit roads in the Cup Series.
Ty makes it out. Back up front, Justin Horton is there. Now that 55 is Scotty Grove. He is just one lap down. Of course, he's got fresh tires. That's why he's able to drive around the 15 of Garrett Johnson. But Garrett Johnson's playing the long game.
I love the long game. Typically, fewer pit stops works, especially with a track like this, because there you can't, like 50 seconds is so hard to make up. So when you're trying to do that 2-stop versus the 3, you're setting yourself up for success as long as there's no cautions. Now, looks like we got the 99 for speeding and the 70 for speeding just now. So 99 Berube before and the 70 Chad Jones. And here comes a couple more drivers. Maxwell Caldwell in on pit road with 24 to go.
Good stop by Max Caldwell. Oh, here comes Garrett Johnston.
There he goes.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to stay out there too much. He probably was going to be, caught up. Good stop by the 15, 14.63.
One of our quicker stops of the day, for sure.
Wyatt Gray was on and now is off. So that puts him coming out. Right now he's in 8th. And he will not have to stop again. There's a little bit of door-to-door action happening right there in front of him. The 1. That's Pete Woodrow. And I believe there was a 97.
Yes, I think it was.
So as you can tell by the track map, this field is all spread out over this 2.5 mile track with just 22 laps to go. And it is absolutely a fuel mileage race for these drivers. And what we show up at the front, Lilith Peters, James Lowe, both of those drivers are going to stop one more time. Chris Worrell pitted last on lap 46. I'm not sure he could make it.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a little close. That's a little close right there.
Chuck Van Scoik also pitted last on lap 43. He'll definitely need to stop one more. Andrew Pileshi at lap 47. But the big news is Max Caldwell, lap 51, Garrett Johnston 52, and Wyatt Gray 52. I think those guys, those 3 drivers, are poised to do some damage here and run away with this race.
I'm right there with you. I think they are in prime spot. I think it's exactly right. It's here comes James Lowe again.
Chris Rowe, he's about 4.5 seconds behind Lilith Peters, jumping up to where Lilith is. She's got the, that was the 18, I thought, in front of her.
Yes, it is.
That's Justin Horton. Justin is the last car currently on the lead lap. Number of drivers are lapped down: Semi Harrell, Austin Call, Ty Bostic, Jeremy Flanagan, Philip Vandertwick, William Corinne, Marco Ruby, Pete Woodrum. They're all back there. And as we said earlier, a few retirees, just Zach Allen in the 24, Dalton Shy in the 85, Todd Merkel in the 11. And we do have, and I think that's, did Ty Bostic also retire? He did. Ty
Yes,
Bostic.
he did. That's unfortunate.
Those are a number of playoff drivers involved, or they either lapsed back or they have retired. Seems odd. Maybe he got disconnected. I'm not sure.
I can look through and see.
All right, 19 laps to go. At some point, we're expecting the 01 on pit road. Now, in this instance, do you just hang out there for a long time?
Yeah.
So let's go on board and see if he's trying to save fuel. No, she's in fourth gear.
I think what your goal is here, if you are Lilith, is hoping for a caution and stay out as long as you can.
Yeah, I just received word from race control that the 22 connection dropped. He, unfortunately, that is the nature of this sport. You're tied to the event via the internet.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, the internet drops, so do you.
Well, with 18 to go, let me give you a little bit of a rundown about where some of our playoff drivers stand. So top three: Lilith Peters, Chris Harrell, Chuck Van Swickle. We think all those drivers have to come back down pit road. The first playoff driver that doesn't have to come down pit road, I mean, well, Scotty Grove's in good shape. Well, no, he's still there. Why? Yeah, I mean, it's.
I think I don't think any of
all of them.
Yeah. All of the playoff drivers are off cycle. Well,
the only one. Excuse me, the only two. No, the only one would have been Aiden Lucas, but he's one lap down, still in 20 seconds back from Justin Horton, who's in P18. Here comes Lilith down pit road with 17 laps to go. Sacrificing the lead.
she's got no choice. We're going to see the rest of them do the exact same thing.
I mean, right now, Garrett Johnston, prime position. Basically 27, 25, 27. And that equals exactly what you need. Actually, excuse me, that's math is incorrect. Because he pit on lap 27, then came down on lap 52.
That is a 14.88 pit stop. I'm sorry. The Peters 14.42 pit stop.
Looks like we do have word that Justin Lewis is clutching in the corners. Justin Lewis is sitting right there in 11th. Take a look and see what he's doing. There's the clutch. And back in the throttle. Stays in 5th gear the whole time.
Justin last pitted on lap 50. All right, with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Won't miss a thing.
Are you looking for a way to safely and securely dispose of your old electronic devices? Why not donate them to Tech4Troops? Tech4Troops is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to bridging the technology gap for in-need veterans and their families. The donation process is quick and easy. Simply go to tech4troops.org and click on the donate link at the top right-hand side of the page. Scroll down to access the Give Back Box link. To create your shipping label, click Add to Cart and complete the checkout process. The shipping label is good for up to 50 pounds. You can recycle most standard shipping boxes to send in your devices. Oh, don't forget the power cords. Give new life to your old technology by responsibly recycling with Tech4Troops. Help save the environment and support a veteran.
All right, welcome back to the IWM broadcast of the Tech4Troops Cup Series playoff event here at the International, well-renowned speedway of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Right now, we are in a tight battle for fuel economy in this race. Currently leading is Chris Worrell. We got Chuck Van Scoik right there, but those two drivers pitted last on lap 46 and 43 respectively. We expect to see them both on pit road. I don't think they can get 12 more laps, although it seems like Chris may be trying to save fuel.
I mean, this is the only way he can do it, by staying behind those drivers right there, the four.
Yeah, Garrett Johnston, who is currently sitting in third, although he's 13 seconds back, as well as Max Caldwell and Wyatt Gray pitted last on lap 52, 51-ish. So we believe they could actually make it all the way around to the end.
The math is going to work.
And here's Chris Worrell coming down pit road. Oh, hits the wall.
Oh, man. Yeah, had some contact there. Chuck Van Scoik on pit road.
Yep, as we expected, that would put Garrett Johnson up to the lead.
And, you know, what this is going to do is this is going to allow for another driver to make it in on points instead of a win. So if Garrett Johnson goes out and wins this race, and right now, I mean, the strategy is won by the non-playoff drivers. I mean, look at the top five right now, all non-playoff drivers.
All right, that was a two-tire stop for Chris Worrell, trying to save himself a few seconds to get back out there. Saw the same thing with Chuck Van Scoik. Now that ends up putting them still in the top 10.
But they're 28 seconds back, though.
They are. You are correct.
And like we said before, unless a caution comes out, it's going to be very hard to catch those drivers because they would have to gain over 2.8 seconds a lap to catch each individual driver there. So it's going to be tough.
It is. All right, with 10 laps remaining here, your top five is Garrett Johnson, Stephen Gibson, Max Caldwell, Wyatt Gray, Justin Lewis. But we also do expect the 97 of Stephen Gibson Jr. on pit road. Everybody else pitted after lap 50. So with that, now we've only got 16 cars currently on the lead lap. That last round of pit stops really shook things up.
It did, and that's where I think you saw really the race won and the race lost, depending on what driver you're paying attention to here. Was not expecting drivers to try to go the 2-stop route, but
Man, it works.
With 9 to go, there it is. And looking at the lap time specifically for Chris Horrell, a full 1.5 seconds faster than Garrett Johnston, but that's not enough to make up the gap. They'll probably catch him with they need about 10 seconds by the end of the race is what I would imagine. 10-second gap, that is.
Inside the 15 of Garrett Johnston.
He's just riding around.
Yep.
Enjoying his time here in Indianapolis. Oh, caution. Oh, there it is.
Oh, that changes everything.
There it is. What has happened here?
Jeremy Flanagan.
Jeremy Flanagan, a Kaiju Cat Motorsport teammate.
Super easy to do. He spun coming off of pit road.
Let's see what happened. Can we go in car and see maybe if we'll see what happened there?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now we're staying at a slow speed, but we could. We tried.
Yep.
Let's just take that back at. This is at race speed. Just too much speed exiting that corner. All right, so does that change much?
Yeah, because I don't know if the 15 can make it.
I think he probably can make it now,
You think?
but maybe not. Here he comes.
Well, here's the thing. Come down and get tires. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like come down and get your last set of tires. You're gonna have enough. There's enough track here in Indianapolis, as long as you get a good restart, to where you can have a decent gap between yourself and the field when it comes to a tire advantage. So we'll see what happens here. Rick, the thing is, almost the whole field came down pit road. Like, you're talking the whole field.
Yep.
And right now, you only have, 7 guys. Yep, staying out. 7 cars staying out. And when looking at some of the numbers here, the Chris Horrell is actually in best shape out of all of them. Have 5 lap distance, but James Lowe, 14. Lilith Peters, 10. Mike Slatker, 9. Nathan Harper, 8. Dustin Coggin, 21. So there's a discrepancy. Is it going to be enough? Is the question.
Very interesting. All right, late caution. Only our second caution of the night has really possibly shaken up this field a bit. Rick Javorka on YouTube has said that he thinks he may have caught the edge of the grass on the way out. That makes perfect sense. Super easy to do here. That's a narrow exit off of pit road.
Yeah, it definitely looked like they caught the grass a little bit and corrected.
So that puts James Lowe out in front. He'll have Lilith Peters to the outside. Chris Worrell, his teammate, tucked in behind him. Mike Slaughter on the outside, and it'll take, then we'll get to the 4th row when we'll see the folks, Garrett Johnson, he'll be in 8th. These guys just pitted, and they will have fresh tires to try and run down these leaders. Drivers getting the wave around. Puts them back on the lead lap.
All right, I'm going to be very curious to see how these new tires are going to be for the 15, the 94, the 97. We know Maxwell Caldwell wants to battle up through there. And Rick, we're going to have 4 laps. This is not a green-white checkered. You know, we're not going to have just 2 laps to get this thing done. We're going to have 4. So, really, technically 5. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here as this is race 1, and as the leaderboard just showed, this is how quickly you can flip. You have the 07, the 01, the 06, the 14, the 4, and the 18 all playoff drivers.
All right, on the backstretch here, approaching, going into turn 3. As you can see, a number of drivers. Well, that is a 71.
Oh no, what has happened?
He was warming up his tires and got a little bit too wide. That's Andrew Polisci, and Marco Berube got involved. Wyatt Gray.
Yeah, hold on. What was that all about?
I think it was Wyatt Gray who was warming up his tires and ended up T-boning. He knows better.
Yeah, I'm going to go on board. See if we can go on board with Wyatt Gray, the 71, Rick.
All right, we're about to get this race back under green.
He clipped the grass.
He did. We saw that, yep. Unfortunately, that's going to put Andrew Polisci on pit road because he was hit hard.
That's
Wait,
unfortunate.
caution has come back out. We're back under caution. All right, the lights have, I guess we added a caution lap. So we'll get back to green with just 3 laps to go. Let's see if we can see what happened to Wyatt Gray.
Yeah, I just watched on my other screen. He was swerving here and went left. Too far left, though. Yeah, that's just unfortunate there.
That's terrible.
It's quite unfortunate, but, well, folks, it looks like we're not going to get a green-white checker. We are going to get 3 to go, 2 to go, then 1 to go. So a green-white checker here to determine the last couple laps.
I think Team Rocket Racing is poised here. You've got James Lowe and Chris Worrell right there on that inside line. Kaiju Cat to the outside with Lilith Peters.
Oh yeah, you know the 06 is going to be right there behind the 07. I mean, it's going to be a battle. All right, here we go. 3 laps to go here at Indianapolis. Who is going to get it done? And we are racing green flag in the air. Looks like the 06 got out to a great start. Here comes... Yep, there we go. Got in front of the 01 as the James Lowe machine is now to the point. Wolf goes down low on the 06, trying to go into turn 2. Drifts up a little bit, gets loose.
Has to correct.
Got 3 wide in the back.
Jumping back. It's 3 wide back here.
And looking at those drivers that came out.
Contact.
Oh, that's going to bring out a caution. Maybe not. If they stay down, up there it is. There's going to be a caution for that. Maybe. Not yet. Not yet. No caution. Still 3 to go. Still no caution with 3 to go. Nothing yet. The 06 is catching the 07. No caution. And we are still green. That's wild.
If all those drivers kept it pointing in the right direction, that caution.
Oh, there it is. Didn't mean to interrupt you, Rick, but there was the caution right there. Why didn't it come out before? And what actually caused that? Because I didn't see anything come up on my telemetry after that incident.
Looks like the 64 of Cody Sturgill. It was unrelated to that previous incident.
It was.
That's the 71 down low. 64 gets loose. Contact with the retaining wall, and he stops.
That's an odd incident because there was no contact and nothing happened. It honestly just looked like he just went towards the wall and hit the brakes.
All right,
maybe it was a connection. Who knows?
I don't know. The caution has come out here with just 3 laps to go, which means this race will be finished under a green-white checker.
Yep, and we do have 3 attempts at this, so we'll see how it fares out. But what I do know is that Garrett Johnston machine, who has the freshest tires of the field, up to P6, so he gained 2 spots.
This is
Still
going
needs
to
to gain 4 or 5 more.
This is going to put teammates at the front.
Teammates at the front, Nathan Harper and Mike Slavka are making up row 2. Lilith Peters and Garrett Johnston making up row 3.
There you see in 6th is our first driver who pitted last who has the freshest tires. Actually, Nathan Harper, these guys may have come down. They got tires. Number of drivers giving up track position for tires on this restart. That seems like an odd. Yeah, I'm just not sure why Goat Racing driver 64 can go on board and see if we see anything.
I mean, he is now out of the race. He's not even in the session anymore, but that was after he left the track. So he left the track, then left the session. It wasn't a session removal at the time of contact. Yeah, maybe go on board and see what happened there with the 64.
That seems a little odd.
Just gonna call it like I see it, Rick. So whoa, back that up just a little bit more. Was there contact there? Was he a part of that initial wreck? Keep on backing it up.
He's definitely involved.
He was involved.
All right, here we go.
All right, there that is. Okay. Yeah, major contact there. Major contact. And he goes out into the corner and just makes a right and keeps it there. And then disconnects. So my first thought was a wheel connection issue. You know, if your wheel pops off,
Yep.
or if you have like a wheel disconnect. But I believe if a wheel disconnects, it'll go back to center. It won't go to the right.
All right, we'll have to figure that out post-race, but here we are, 3 laps to go. We'll just call it like we see it. James Lowe, Chris Worrell out front. Nathan Harper, Mike Slaughter in row 2. Row 3 is Lilith Peters and Garrett Johnston.
All right, here we go. We got a green, white checker restart treat for you all tonight here. Didn't think we were going to get cautions, but we did. I mean, we had a great green flag run. We had fuel strategy, so let's see how this is going to play out here.
All right, lights are off on the pace car. The drivers are entering into turn 2, making their way onto the backstretch. Number of drivers, Sammy Harrell for sure. The 98, the 19, those guys are making their way around, trying to catch up to the pack.
And looking at where we are currently, freshest tires of the field technically are in the back with Dustin Coggin, John Ledger, and Christoph Hall. But right now, James Lowe, Chris Worrell, Mike Slatker up there, all battling. Lilith Peters.
These are 3 long laps.
Very, very true. But hey, you know what? It's the beauty of this track, and I bet people. I mean, there's probably a petition out there to increase pit road speed or pace speed. They can go a little bit faster, but we've reached the time. Here we go. Green flag back in here very shortly. We are under our first green-white checker situation of the evening to start off the first race of the round of 16 here. Green flag in the air. James Lowe with a great restart. Looks like the 4 of Nathan Harper might get down to the low side of the 06. Going into turn 1, he does. But the 06 powers off. Going to gain that position, 06 to second place.
A little bit of contact with the retaining wall.
Contact there. You see the 15. Garrett Johnston trying to make his way up through the field now with just 2 laps to go.
He's got a little bit of help behind him with Lilith Peters.
Oh, he drove it in really hard, made some contact there. Car up into the wall. He's going to go up against the wall, stay up there. No caution. I think is that Mike Slatker?
I thought the 97 had the wall contact of Stephen Gibson Jr.
Might have been. Either way, white flag in the air. Next flag is going to be the race. 06 of Chris Worrell is out front. James Lowe is in second. Nathan Harper in third. Oh, contact.
7 was dirt tracking through that corner.
He's going to open up the door for the 4 coming out of turn 2. The 4 is there. And then we got 3 wide battle for second place, Rick. 3 wide going into turn, or is it 2 wide? 2 wide going into turn 3. As Chris Worrell sails off, we got a car wrecking in the back.
Garrett Johnson's right there taking over third. He's on the podium. 4th and Nathan Harper. He's trying to get around the 4. He may do it.
Here we go. Here comes Garrett Johnston to second place. He's going to battle with the 4 out of turn 4. It's going to be a drag race down the front. Oh, contact. Oh, more contact. Oh, and the finish there. Nathan Harper comes home in second, James Lowe in third, but Chris Worrell wins at Indy.
Wow. All right. As soon as we get results here. Oh, results are already in.
All right, let's see if we can bring up our final results here in the Tech4Troops Cup Series playoff race number 1 at Indianapolis. wild finish. Chris Farrell locks himself into the round of 10 by winning today here at Indianapolis. Nathan Harper finishes in second with James Lowe in third. Garrett Johnston, that tough battle with the 4 car, ends up in P4 with Maxwell Caldwell in 5th, Justin Lewis in 6th, Lilith Peters in 7th, Chuck Van Scoik in 8th, Stephen Gibson Jr. in 9th, and Justin Horton in 10th.
Scotty Grove finishes in 11th, Wyatt Gray in 12th, Luke Bullard in 13th, Dustin Coggin in 14th, Christoph Hall in 15th, Austin Call in 16th, John Ledger in 17th. In 18th, you've got Aiden Lucas. 19th is William Corinne, and 20th is Pete Woodrum.
In 21st, Sammy Harrell with Mike Slasker coming home in 22nd. Marco Ruby, 23rd. Cody Sturgill, 24th. In 25th, you have Andrew Pileshi, 26th. Philip Vandertwick, 27th is Jeremy Flanagan. Chad Jones in 28th. Ty Bostic in 29th. And Zach Allen in 30th with Ryan D. Cook, Dalton Schley, and Todd Merkel rounding out 31st, 32nd, and 33rd. Don't go away. We're going to interview the podium finishers. Chris Farrell, Nathan Harper, James Lowe in reverse order. Third, second, and first. So stay tuned for that.
All right, I think we've got James Lowe available. Let's see if we can bring him in the broadcast booth. All right, James, congratulations. You wound up third.
Yeah, I'm not sure what them guys were doing right there, but hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, there's some definitely battling between the 4 and the 15 for sure as we were making our way out of turn 4.
Yeah, that was a little, I guess they really wanted that second place, I guess, but hey, that's fine. They can battle it out, and I'll come up there and take one from them. But yeah, just on tire deficit there, played a strategy, and of course, a caution comes out because somebody can't come off pit road. But, you know, all in all, not too bad of a night.
All right. Absolutely. Well, congratulations on your third place finish. I know Indianapolis is a challenging track. Obviously, we saw lots of fuel economy. Were you doing much shifting in your runs?
No, I normally, if there's a track where I can get away with it, I normally don't shift at all. So I wouldn't shift it at all. So,
Gotcha.
and it showed at the end of the runs because I was way faster than everybody. So, yeah, shifting down to fourth. Wow, yeah, it was a little bit faster for the first like 7-8 laps. After you skin them tires up a little bit, you know, I was just slow and steady, you know, and was doing really well. But you know how these races always wind up ending in fake life and real life. There's always a caution at the end.
Completely understand. All right, any shout-outs tonight?
Yeah, congrats to Chris for winning the race. I'm not sure where Scotty wound up. 11th place. Congrats to him. You know, we tried as best we could. Aunt Mary Alice out there watching. I know she's out there. Black Car Mafia, I know they're out there watching. And you guys for broadcast, I know you did a great job. I can't wait to go watch it back.
Got it. All right, that's your third place finisher, Mr. James Lowe. And with that, let's bring in our second place finisher, Nathan Harper, who survives that and winds up in second.
Yeah, had no business finishing second. Had a pretty bad race, and that late yellow bailed me out for sure.
Well, it definitely was a challenging fuel mileage race here. You know, Indianapolis is an interesting track with these cars.
Yeah, a lot of the people, they were on a strategy, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was just going to run it dry every run, and I took rights on the last stop, and I was like, well, whatever happens. I didn't really have a strategy. I just went for it.
Yeah, there was some contact with yourself and the 15 of Garrett Johnson through those last couple of turns.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible. I was trying, you know, in the playoffs, I'm trying to get as many spots as I can get, and I think he took 4, or he was just better, and he got to my inside, and I mean, I intended to turn left, just kind of like glue our doors to each other, but I think I did it a little too hard, knocked him out of shape, and then I kind of got loose and then countersteered it back into him and just flat out wrecked him. So yeah, that's not good. We got into it, I think, last season at Nashville, and it was worse. I ended his race, so that does not look good. Might come back to bite me, but yeah, I should have just held my line.
Well, he still finished 4th, so there's that. So that wasn't like he wiped out. So.
I guess.
All right. Any shout outs tonight, Nathan?
Shout out to my team. That's about it. I mean, nothing else really.
You got it. All right.
Kaiju Cat Motorsports. Yeah. Shout out
There
to
you
them.
go. All right. That's Nathan Harper, who finishes in second here. And with that, let's bring in our winner, Mr. Chris Worrell. Congratulations, Chris, on your win.
Bridges out there. How you doing, man?
Doing good. So this is we were looking, and John and I were playing with our fuel calculators up here, trying to figure out where people were stopping, whether shifting was impacting fuel economy, and I don't think we figured it out. We just were at some point we basically said they're going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah, I don't think it was a great race until that caution happened. It sucks because I don't think any of the leaders, at least James Lilletherman, were going to win. I know from what I heard, Garrett had enough to make it all the way, so he was probably going to run away with the win there. But so that sucks for him. Sucks we had a wreck at the end. I would really like to try to race to the lead there at the end. I played the right call, getting tired, getting right sides late, and I didn't eat them up enough to where I still had some grip to be fast on that restart. So I got lucky there. But yeah, it was a great race. Fuel was going to be tight. I don't think anybody would have made it on fuel all the way if it wasn't for that wreck on lap 1. But I think because of that, a lot of people pit and topped off a couple times. So,
Well, good to punch your ticket into the next round of the playoffs with the win here at Indianapolis. Kind of takes the pressure off of next week when we head to Chicago for the road course.
Oh, cool. That is really good news because that's going to be a hard one for me. I haven't raced there yet. Hopefully I can put in some work before next Wednesday so I can at least run decent. Don't embarrass myself. That's the plan. But yeah, it sucks. James definitely was the fastest guy out there tonight. I'd like to give him a shout out. Scotty, Team Rocket Racing. We all did really good tonight. Good finishes. Like to shout out Aunt Mary, Rick, Javorka for watching, Black Car Mafia, you guys in the booth, Elliot, Tech4Troops, right? Tech4Troops sponsor, and that's about it.
All right. Well, there you have it here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Chris Worrell wins here, and we'll be back next week at the Chicago Street Course, which should be a heck of a lot of fun for these drivers, especially being a playoff race. And John, any closing words tonight?
I just want to say congrats to Chris for pulling it off. Great start to the playoffs this year, and looking forward to everybody coming back out next week for the second race of the round of 16. Going to be at the Chicago Street Course, like we mentioned. It's going to be a fun one. No full course yellows, so it's going to be a matter of staying to the front and staying out of trouble. And you definitely don't want to miss that because we have some pretty good road course racers in this league. You don't want to miss some good, street course action next week from Chicago.
All right, so with that, we thank you all for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network, and we appreciate you tuning in, whether it's live or you're watching it on replay. Thank you, and if you could like and subscribe, then you can stay up to date on other events that we've got. So for John and myself, thanks for tuning in, and have a great night.
Good night, folks.